Morning, everyone. I'll monitor the waiting room. If you guys like to start, it's a very small group joining for the online session versus the on-campus one, for obvious reasons. So whenever you want to start, let me know. And oh, it has started recording, so you guys can start anytime you'd like.
Okay. I guess we'll not wait a couple extra minutes, but we'll just go on ahead with it. Um, Welcome to the Community Rehabilitation Disability Studies information session here today at UCalgary online, of course. I hope you take away and learn a lot of things from the program and what you want to do in the future for yourselves. Let me just click on that. So just a brief overview of what we'll be going over today. Us peer mentors are going to introduce ourselves briefly. Afterwards, we're going to discuss about the program and our personal experience that we've taken from it throughout the years. And at the end, of course, we'll answer any questions that you guys may have about the program moving forward. Yeah.
I guess quickly before we begin our introductions, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising of the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation Alberta Region 3, and we would like to note that the University of Calgary is situated on land adjacent to where the Bow River meets the Elbow River, and that the traditional Blackfoot name of this place is Mokinstis, which we now call the city of Calgary. So I think it's important that even when we're having a Zoom event virtually, we should recognize the land that we work in and live on.
Okay, I guess I'll begin with my introduction. My name is Harry Wijaya. I'm a fourth year CRDS student currently. I was the former VP Finance for our student association. Uh, that we'll get more in touch later. I'm currently pursuing occupational therapy and MBA, hopefully in my future studies. And I am a retired athlete, but I used to play sports, and that's all about me. Justine.
Hi, my name is just yeah. Oh,
Are
second.
you
It's
good?
so for the mic to work sometimes. Hi, my name is Justine Espiritu. I'm also a fourth year CRDS student. I'm aiming more to go towards policy or community development where I'm heading with my program. And I have a list of disability advocates on social media if anyone's interested in asking for it after the session.
Uh, okay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us, even though it's like a small group. But my name is Aisha. I'm also a fourth year CRDS student. Same as Harry, I'm also trying to pursue occupational therapy in the future. I would just like to help children, young adults, and adults regain a lost ability to carry out various tasks in their everyday life. Other than school and my volunteering, I guess I'm just playing volleyball, snowboarding, traveling. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so Sarah Holly, which you can probably see in this Zoom call, if you're not familiar with her yet, she is our practicum advisor, and she's my go-to, and hopefully she's also your go-to for questions tailored to yourself and your role in the program once you get started. Even right now, if you have any questions, feel free to email her about them, and her email's on the screen. So thank you, Sarah, for being here and for organizing all of this for us.
Okay. We're gonna have a little segment of Kahoot just to keep you guys on your toes and not to just lecture you for a continual period of time. So let me just
Mhm.
set that up real quick. Ah, so much paid ad. Feel free to join whenever. Do we have one more? Do we have one more? Don't feel pressured or anything to join. But I'm give it like
Me, I'll join.
okay.
I'm probably starting, huh?
Oh, are you in? Is one of this you?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Let's get started. Good luck.
there's one versus the other.
Is CRDS a medical program?
Nice.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. CRDS is in fact not a medical program, even though we are in the Cumming School of Medicine. It is a interdisciplinary uh bachelor degree if you decide to take that, even though the program does offer um under bachelor degrees and also graduate studies as well. Um, but yeah, it more so focuses on disability and how the social model impacts their lives. It's not really your typical biological, biomedical take on what disability is. We'll go more so into the concepts later in the information session, but yes, good job. It is not a medical degree. Will there be practicums throughout your program? True or false? Oh, so fast.
Nice.
Someone's done the research. Oh my goodness. Uh, and M takes an astounding lead. But that's because she's been in the pro. Okay, so I'll just briefly discuss what a practicum is. A practicum is just it's almost like an internship where you gain work experience by working for a specific business or program outside of the school that might be affiliated with it and so on. Um, it's you get credits for doing your practicum because it is a class, but just like I said, it's where you work and gain the experience in the field throughout your studies, which is really cool. And with this degree specifically, you will have three practicums if you choose to do the fourth year route. Sorry. So it is a substantial portion of your degree if you decide to go in the CRDS program. And yeah. What are the future jobs you can have with this degree? Hmm? You guys are getting everything right. I don't even have to be here to say anything. What's going on? Oh, Hannah has a streak with 3 correct answers. How's Hannah losing then? What? That don't make any sense. Sorry, Hannah, I'm setting up for failure somehow. Um, when it pertains to jobs, the degree is so open-ended, and the way it's structured, you can have a lot of options throughout the degree. It could it's arguably endless on what you could really be. Um, I've been in respite. I work at a day program. It's just a whole slew of things that you can work in the disability field, naturally being so. You can own your own business. You can work on so many other things and facets that disability leads into. That's why it's so great. that you can really branch off to what you feel passionate about within the disability field, which is really cool.
Yeah, you're not really set to just one path too.
True that. And most students can get hired at the okay. Well,
Good
let
job,
me
guys. Good job, guys.
good job. Good job, Hannah. No one's getting anything wrong. I made this way too easy.
Only there are virtual prizes.
And just to make sure that you're practicing active recall, what are our names? Oh, you finally got something wrong. Kinda.
John.
Well, that was that. So thank you for participating. I hope you had a little bit of fun instead of just sitting here listening to us. Um, yeah, I guess we should head back to the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
This is Justine's portion.
Justine? No, I think.
Yeah, sorry, it just takes a while to unmute sometimes. It's an old computer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so what is the CRDS program? Here, you click the slide. So first of all, we're going to get you familiar with some of the terminology you'll see throughout the program. Just a quick review in case you didn't already know. But the acronym CRDS, it's just the abbreviation for a program. So we're not always saying Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies. It is a mouthful, so it is a lot easier to just say CRDS. BCR is the name of our bachelor, and CORE is just an abbreviation for the required courses. CORE courses are the courses you need to take for this program. They are not electives, they are mandatory courses. Now, of course, when you get a little bit, when you're in your third and fourth year, you do have core courses that you can pick from, but you need to pick at least one or two of them. The program is really about advocacy and intersectionality. It's hands-on learning, and it's really stepping away from like what Harry said, that biomedical approach. It's Harry, next slide. It's not learning how to diagnose disability, and it is very much not learning how to cure disability. It's sort of seeing how disability has been shaped throughout different societal contexts throughout the year and how that's shaped the attitude towards disability, especially in medical settings. You really need to come into this with an open mind. So if you're going to this program thinking that you're going to cure all disabilities, I highly suggest you take a bit of a step back and try to think, okay, why is disability framed in this specific way? Now you can change slides.
Okay, so just a quick overview. Just our vision is the responsive, sophisticated, and just understanding of people of diverse disabilities. Our mission statement is to generate research, education, policy, and practice partnerships to improve the well-being of people with diverse abilities. Next slide. So what can you do with this degree? This is probably why most of you are here. We have a list of jobs you can potentially pursue after your time in CRDS. These are all occupations that are eligible with this degree. The specific list can be found on the CRDS website. Some of them are more commonly known ones like policy analyst, community development worker, program manager, occupational therapist, physiotherapist, behavioral therapist, respite care coordinator, child life specialist, and return to work specialist. Some agencies and corporations you can potentially work with include like Alberta Health Services, CBE and CCSD schools, Calgary Quest schools, the City of Calgary, and the Government of Canada or Alberta. It's important to note that there are definitely more occupations than what's being presented on the list. This really only scratches the surface. Justine?
Program, yeah, again, the mic takes a while. But here is just kind of where you could go further in your education. So if you want to go further, you can have like a master's in science and community rehabilitation. You can go get into occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, social work. There's a whole bunch of after degree programs, and you can use this program as a stepping stone for medical school. Although just be warned, it will not prepare you for the MCAT. That's the one caveat. Now, here we're going to talk about the 4-year route, and then briefly touch on the 2-year post-diploma and the combined degree. The 4-year route is really what you're going, or is mainly what people tend to go into the program. And Harry, I'm just going to see if I can steal share screen privileges from you for a while.
Okay, sure. I think you can take it. Because I'll just stop.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Just to show you guys where to. Is it working? Let's see if it's working. Okay. I think it's working. So, can you guys see anything?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So there are 2 ways you could go about finding the requirement. You could type in CRDS here, but I find this way is a little tricky because sometimes the links aren't updated. What I find to be the most reliable source is go to future students. I know you're all current students at the moment, but future students is where you can go to explore programs. Again, apologies, it's an old computer, so this might take a while. And then scroll down until you find a program. It's going to be in the B section. Oh, no, not B section. Just a minute. Scroll down until you find our program right here, Community Rehabilitation. And then you want to go down to program description. And once you're here, you can find the program details. Oh, hang on. Oh, my bad. It's admission. Oh, hang on. Why is it not? Okay, let's see about that, folks. This was working earlier, and apparently now it's not. Let's try this one. So yeah. Weird. Now let me check. Because it was working earlier. Last time I checked.
I think Sarah just mentioned that the calendar links to
Aisha,
program
Harry?
requirements.
Yeah, the calendar links are all on our website. So I know Melissa that's joined, she kind of had an info session. So that's probably the easiest way because all the calendar links are right on our program website under resources, and it directly goes into the new calendar. It's new to us. It's not new to anybody starting in the fall. It's a new platform. So we've updated all the links to show the program details, which I think is very important. So you know how to plan your classes and to use your academic advising report. As well as a reference. That was a new tool that was created a few years ago by the university. So that's just another quicker way as well to get to the calendar sections for our program.
Let's go back to the camera.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. It was fine when I was checking it, but I don't know.
Yeah, you always
No.
had Sarah, so that's how reliable she's always been.
Yeah. Yeah, just if you don't know, just check with Sarah. Yeah. This yeah, and we still offer the 2-year post-diploma route. Good thing we have this slide at least. So you need 30 units in one of these programs here. You need 6 practicum units here. That's around 2 courses. You need academic writing, 2 courses from chosen health options, 4 courses from the senior social science options, and then a course from management options. Again, if you're having difficulty looking for anything, defer to Sarah. She knows absolutely everything about this program.
So practicum agencies. Here are some practicum agencies that you can expect to have a placement at. These include Autism Asperger's Friendship Society, PACE Kids, CBE and CCSD schools, LifeMark, Calgary Scope Society. These are just a handful of examples. I feel like majority of them are on the screen. Your practicum placement are often set out or chosen roughly 2 months prior to your class beginning. Your practicum will typically be confirmed a month before or up to a day before class. It is important to be mindful of the fact that it is up to you to schedule your practicum. You have a general availability to give, but you are responsible for finding the time in your classes and your practicum, which is nice to have that flexibility. Most core classes have an average of 2 sections, so you do need to register quickly because our program might be small, but it is competitive within the students. And I think Sarah mentioned something in the chat. Yeah, we have a practicum coordinator that assists with all the students for practicums. So that's an additional help for you guys. So core required courses are all on the screen right now. These are just some of the required courses. There are 4 practicum courses, Core 205, 207, 594, 595. Each class focuses on different topics. We have a class for research design, class regarding aging, family, inclusivity, and independence for people with various disabilities. Some of these classes will have a guest lecturer, people coming from different agencies, organizations, or someone with experience and research in the field will come in and discuss their expertise and knowledge to help you understand the content being learned at a deeper level. It's also really important to note that we have various assessment methods. It really depends on the class and the professor, but it varies from oral presentations, writing papers, critical reflections, discussion/blog posts, and group projects. I even had to write a play script one time with my classes with Dr. Martino, which was super engaging and interesting, to say the least. Another thing to note is that immunization and police checks are required for practicums because you work with a vulnerable population. So this is mandatory for all your practicum courses.
I also want to bring up, because this is really great to kind of go over, is with the immunizations and police check, when you enroll into practicums, you have months to prepare for this. And going back to what our mentors were mentioning, it is your responsibility to make sure you get things in on time, because the longer you leave it, the more likely you won't be able to complete your practicum hours, which is important. So you will be getting a lot of communications over the summer months. Melissa, you're in the 2-year route, so this is not something that you have to worry about for this upcoming year. But Hannah, you would with getting prepared for 207 in the winter. So it's just something to keep mindful of. And our coordinator, I think, speaks to the class in 209 in the fall, just to kind of get things started. So you guys are aware of getting all your paperwork in on time.
Very well said.
So option courses, these are just a really small list of option courses that you could potentially take throughout your degree. For example, I've taken GRST 211, which is a personal favorite for many. SOCI 201, 327, Psych 200, 201, all of them are really good intro classes. Majority of them are introduction classes, so they seem pretty broad at first, but as you start taking classes, they start to specialize and focus on specific topics. That's when you kind of tend to get a little more interesting. That's when it kind of gets a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. But at the in-person open house, I would constantly tell like upcoming first-year students to really explore their interests and take classes that they find interesting. Typically, if you find it interesting, you're more likely to participate and engage with that class.
Okay, so just a little bit of a break. We're gonna do the Rex challenge.
I'm Rex, the UCalgary mascot and #1 Dinos fan.
I literally thought Harry was narrating that for a second.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to the volume for him, but the dinosaurs jokes are lame anyway, so.
I like them.
He tries, he
yeah.
tries. Yeah, I'm
I
proud
hope
of
you
him.
guys like the message. He's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that pun, his puns were great. That's my
Yes.
humor, by the way. So if you want to get to know me better, but yeah. Um, this
For schedule builder and tuition, what you want to do is, again, when you're on the UCalgary homepage, you go over to My UCalgary, and then you should be able to really it's just a matter of kind of clicking your way around and finding where stuff is. But schedule builder is really how you plan your courses. When you're planning your courses, it's safer to err on a little too many courses and then dropping courses that you figure don't really mesh with you or that you don't really kind of feel like would help you in your program. You really want to keep an eye on your enrollment deadline. It'll be in your My UCalgary page, but keep an eye on enrollment deadlines because classes fill up really, really quickly, especially if you want to get all your electives in. For tuition, you're gonna have to link to your bank account. So just add UCalgary as a payee on your bank account, and you should be able to pay it really easily. Cost per semester, well, it kind of really fluctuates now, but it's roughly around $600-ish per course, and textbooks can run you anywhere from $50 to $400. But yeah, that's about really it. As long as you click on your UCalgary, your My UCalgary page, it's everything's labeled, so you should be able to find your way around fairly easily.
So minors, to get a minor, you need 30 units to fulfill. So 3 units is 1 course. So if it's 30 units, it would be 10 courses. Typically, when you're getting into your first year, you're not really too worried about declaring a minor. You're more of trying to survive. So once you hit your second and third year, that's kind of when you start to make a decision if you'd like to minor in something. Again, that's different for everyone, but a minor is basically a small focus on a particular area. So some people go into sociology, some do a psychology major, which a minor, which is really common, health and society, and the list goes on. It is important to note that it's not required in our degree. It is more about if the student is interested in pursuing it or not.
and just to add on to like the double major aspect, For double majors with the CRDS program, commonly people take the CRDS and a psychology double bachelor degree. With that, usually takes around 5 years, so there's additional time to that, and there's additional requirements and classes that you'll have to take to get both the CRDS and psychology credentials, of course. It'll take more than your usual 120 credits. So that being said, that's why it usually takes an extra year for that type of stuff. Another note about double majors, they have to be the same type of degree. So say you're doing the bachelor of the CRDS, you can get a bachelor of the psychology combined. So you can't have like a bachelor and a master or mix and match in that aspect. But yeah, it's another way to get some credentials that you might be interested in down the line. And you can also apply for that during um your bachelor degree. If you're not in both of them initially, you can apply for it later on, but it will take additional time to get it eventually. Okay. And because I guess I was affiliated with these guys for a little bit, this is the CRDSSA, also known as the Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies Students Association. I know all these names are very long, and that's why we use a lot of acronyms in this program. Pretty much the student association just helps students and their experiences and advocates for like students opportunities on campus. We're relatively a small program. You'll know all your peers pretty much by first year. um, if you were able to join the student association, you'll promote things like student events on campus. They host a disabilities conference where people can show off their research, or you can just learn from professionals and what they've done. You can really network in that aspect. It's just a great way if you were interested in advocating for something or just adding something to your resume down the line for maybe grad applications or just work in general. It's a pretty interesting opportunity if you're into that sort of thing. You like to debate a little bit, innovate in entrepreneurial aspects because I know they're working on some new projects coming up, and yeah. Uh, okay, I guess I'll just jump in here, but
Here are just
wait, no, you got it.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here are just kind of some of the options previously mentioned for the four-year course. So out of the health options, you can pick any two from here to satisfy your health option requirements. Next slide. So your senior social science options, you don't really need to worry about until your third and fourth year, but it's good to be prepared just in case. And out of all of these options, you only really need to pick 4 for your program or for your program requirements. Next slide. And management options, you only need to pick 1. You can pick more than 1, but it's probably going to go more towards our open options. But yeah, anyone from these will satisfy a course requirement. You can also use these for open options as well. And open options are like your electives. It's really just anything outside of the BCR program. Next slide. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit more about kind of how we stumbled our way into the program. And since my mic is on, I guess I'll start us off. We still have some time, it looks like. So I kind of stumbled into this program almost by accident. Originally, I was trying to get into the social work program, so I was doing open studies for a while, trying to get all my requirements for social work. Took one of the social work courses, realized there's kind of a lot of issues in that field, so I wanted to go into a field that would address said issues. And a friend of mine was taking the CRDS program, so I thought I'd look into it, and I'm incredibly glad I did because I absolutely adore this program. I love the work put in this program, and it's just a really good overall experience, in my opinion.
Aisha, you want to go or?
Yeah, sure, I'll go. So for me, I was just a high school student, trying to look at something that could get me into university. I had a couple of friends and people that I personally knew that went into the BCR program, and they said that their eyes were completely open, their mindset, their perspectives on people with disabilities. And I thought, why not? Like, I was always I have people in my family with disabilities, so I thought it would be better to educate myself, and I didn't really know what to expect. The biggest thing I heard, which Justine says all the time, is to be uncomfortable with everything that you're learning. Like, be comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's what she says. But yeah, don't yeah, the first part. But yeah, it was a really big transition from high school to this university experience, but I'm glad that I picked this program specifically. I feel like um now I feel better equipped to do the jobs that I want to do in the future. So yeah, that's me.
Well, just to contrast that a little bit, when I was in high school, I was very motivated, I guess, to try to be an athlete. That obviously didn't work out for me in various ways. So, going into this program, I didn't really know too much about it. I pretty much just asked my advisor, "Hey, what should I do?" Because I didn't really know at that point in my life. And she was like, "Oh, I think this program really fits you." And miraculously, I was able to get in with my grades. I was just going through the motions of the program, but as like I spent time and I really learned the concepts, like I developed a passion for trying to help people with disabilities. Because even in my communities growing up, um, I'm not from a very affluent background, so a lot of my neighbors would be on welfare and be on disability payments and stuff like that. So I did know somewhat of the lived experience of people with disabilities. Um, as I just went through the program, I really developed this passion for it, and this understanding as well that's really developed me as a person to really understand what the group lives out and how things should change and how they would want things to change and how my work has really shifted me through the practicums and stuff like that has really shaped my perspective on things and really developed me as a person and hopefully a professional down the line. So yeah, so that goes from my personal experience. Um, Highlights, tips. I guess I'll cover this, but just little like tips here and there for if you are to go in this program, get to know people. You know, always network, always try to learn from others, you know, throughout your practicums, throughout school, throughout your academics. Just it's always really important just to learn from different people throughout your whole life. Never stop learning. People always have something to say. People always have something to share and to teach you, right? Because you have only lived your experience. People have lived theirs. They live different lives. They know different things, and it's always important to keep open mind in that aspect. There's a Discord server for our program as well. It's ran by the CRDSSA. So you'll know about events. If you're in the Discord, you'll know about, you can network there too, even though it's not really that active, but it's more so just keeping in touch and knowing what things are happening on campus pertaining to the program. There's also servers, is it called? Servers, yeah. Servers
Yes.
for
Yeah.
classes, for specific classes. So if you were to example, for any of your core classes, you can talk to people taking the class or have taken the class, so like alumni. Did you have tips about concepts and projects? Professors in the Discord. Um, Pro tip, spread out your option courses to try to keep, in order to like explore things and try to keep your options open down the line for if when you want to join the workforce later in your career or you just want to specialize into something that helps you in grad school or anything like that. But try to be holistic as you can. There's a lot of, I know one of you is in 2 year route here, but if one of you are in the 4th year route, your requirements, a lot of them are going to be open options. So take advantage of that. Try to explore new things, learn things about yourself because you don't really want to entrap yourself into something that you're not really passionate about, then have to go back to school and essentially kind of do it all over again, if that makes sense. And at the end of the day, don't feel pressured to do anything. It's a big decision what you're making to go into post-secondary to begin with. It's a big investment. We all know the financial barriers and the financial hardship that can really come from getting a post-secondary degree. So really sit with it, internalize it, really feel and understand if this is something that you want to pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their own timeline. Go at your own pace. It's hard not to compare yourself to others, but you're on your own pace, seriously. So just take your time. I guess
Yeah.
the other
And to add to
yeah.
that, I mean, you personal stories too.
Well, we're gonna flip it back on you guys, but thank you for listening. Do you have any specific questions that you'd like to ask? You guys did a lot more due diligence than I did joining this degree, so
Yes.
props to you
Yeah.
guys.
Just showing up today shows a lot.
It does, it truly
It
does.
does.
Um, Sarah, do you have anything to share?
Not really. You guys did a really great job. I always appreciate when senior students share their personal experiences and the reasons why you joined the program. Like Harry, you're very honest about it. And I think students need to hear that sometimes you don't need to know what you need to do in life right away and you can figure it out. And I think you guys really did a great job kind of outlining open options and taking your time and having fun with it. And that's something I'm always trying to tell new students to do. So, and yeah, it's your education and don't feel like you have to do a full course load. And if you need to take a few extra years to complete your degree and take your time with it and networking. And I think creating some social connections is really important too. I know I did a 2-year info session a few nights ago and something I wish I did remember to say to them, which I might have to email about, is that creating your own little cohort for study group with the 2-year route as well, I think is essential too. So, and I think that Discord, I don't know much about it, but I only hear good things. So I think it's definitely something great to utilize as well, because you guys have so much to share with the new students. So you guys are going out and these guys are coming in. So your experiences are very valuable.
Thank you. Yeah. You explained it way better than us, but you're
I
a
don't know.
professional
You
at
guys
this.
hold a
It's
lot
all
of value to these events with sharing in the program. I've never taken it, so I always learn so much from you guys as well at these events. So, and you guys do such great work. So we're very proud of you guys.
thanks.
Yeah.
But if you guys
Hannah,
have
Melissa, do you guys have any questions or anything you want to put in the chat?
Hi, I did have a question about core classes. So I registered yesterday and I didn't end up getting into a lot of the senior, like the third year and fourth year core classes.
Mhm.
As this is so competitive, I suppose, and the continuing students do get in ahead of time. So I was wondering if a lot of them are offered during the summer online at all,
No,
or
we
if
don't offer
it's
anything in the spring and summer. Something I try to tell new students in the transfer route, especially, is that whatever you don't get into this year, you will next year. Sure, it's required. And you are right. Like, for example, if Harry and Justine and Aisha were registering, they have priority to register at the end of March over new students such as yourself. So next year, you will be registering pretty much as soon as it opens up next March. So I tell students is to keep an eye on the wait list, add your name if you can, or if the course opens up, a lot of movement. And I know these 3 students right here can vouch for that as well. A lot changes from now until September or from now until January. But yeah, when you're looking at required classes, the students that are taking it in March, most of them are graduating this year and have and need it to graduate. So I wouldn't stress too much if you don't get into all the required ones this upcoming year. And you also have a number of option courses to kind of focus on as well.
okay, that's very reassuring. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
you will
yeah,
definitely
I
get
did.
into them. I promise you. It
Yes.
just might not always be your
Yes.
first year. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all good. That's fair. And
great.
then I
No,
did
good.
have a question about practicums. So do you know, are they usually kind of like once during the week, or what does a typical practicum schedule look like on average?
I guess I'll add to this, but Sarah, would she be going into the junior practicum or the senior
She'll be
practicum?
doing the senior ones next year. So she's not registering in practicums this year. It will be for
But it'll
The
be for the
94,
senior.
95 next year.
For your, well, you'll have one practicum, and that practicum is 130 hours, so that equates to 10 hours a week. That doesn't count like during term break or anything like that, but it is like around 10 hours a week for that practicum that you're doing. When you do the practicum, you'll sign like a form, get all your immunizations and your police checks. You'll give like your top 3 picks, placements, and Patty, which is like the practicum coordinator, will try to do her best to accommodate for that. But there's no guarantees on if you'll get places that you'll like. So just be wary for that. So if you get a random place that's not on your list, don't say I didn't warn you. But yeah, that's pretty much the commitment there. And you can pick when you go into these places, but you have to communicate with the site supervisor that you have over at wherever you're assigned. If that
Yeah.
kind of clears it
And
up.
I'd like to add, like, for some of our practicums, like everyone that I know, like they have to do additional work on the side, obviously, and that also counts towards your hours, not just being on the actual practicum placement place. But yeah, 10 hours is just an estimate. You can definitely do more, give or take, on depending on your schedule and your time and your work and all of that. So just take that as a little estimate.
Okay, great. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, Hannah and Melissa, obviously, if there's any other questions, you have myself or the Student Association next year to speak to, and Hannah, you'll have mentors as well for your first year. So that group will be somebody to definitely utilize their experience and resources like these 3 students have for our first year students this past year. And yeah, and Melissa, great questions as well. So if anything else comes up, we could definitely chat too. So, but thanks for joining us this morning on your Saturday. And we look forward to having you guys start in the fall semester with us. And thank you 3 for joining in the morning, and I'll see you in the afternoon.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good
Quick
job,
little break.
everybody. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.